February 23, 1744. Frankfurt. In a corner of this German commercial city, there was a narrow alley known as the Judengasse, the Jewish lane. A ghetto, the only district where Jews were permitted to live. The cobblestone streets were dimly lit, and residents were restricted from even leaving beyond the city walls. It was in one house along that alley that Mayor Amschel Rothschild was born. From a young age, he was no ordinary coin dealer. Ancient coins, medals, rare gold pieces. He had his eye on the hobby of noblemen who collected such things. In the German principalities of that era, there existed a framework known as the court factor, a special channel through which Jewish merchants handled procurement and finance for royal courts. Mayor Amschel worked his way into that channel. This coin, my lord, was minted by the first Holy Roman Emperor himself. What he was selling was not coins alone. It was trust. It was knowledge. And it was relationships. Through dealings with the Hesse-Kassel court in the latter half of the 18th century, Mayor Amschel steadily established himself as a court factor. Hesse-Kassel at the time held a relatively strong financial foundation as a principality. Wealth accumulated through mercenary supply and taxation meant the court had a genuine need for asset management and procurement. For a Jew born in the ghetto, gaining entry to the royal court was nothing short of a miracle. Yet for Mayor Amschel, this was only the beginning. In his mind, the plan was steadily taking shape. Mayor Amschel's genius lay not only in his financial acumen, it was in the art of deploying his family. He had 10 children, but he placed his bet on 5 sons. 5 sons. 5 cities at the center of finance and political power. The eldest, Amschel, remained in Frankfurt to guard the family seat. The second, Solomon, went to Vienna, the capital of the Habsburg Empire. The third, Nathan, went to London, the world's greatest financial market. The fourth, Karl, went to Naples, the kingdom of southern Italy. The fifth, James, went to Paris, the heart of Napoleon's empire. This was no mere expansion of business. It was a grand blueprint to cover all of Europe in a single financial web. The 5 brothers shared something beyond family bonds. They possessed their own intelligence network. They hired couriers to deliver encrypted letters between cities. Through their own communication network, independent of official channels, they circulated information more swiftly and reliably when circumstances demanded. What was happening in London? What was moving in Paris? What decision the emperor had made in Vienna? A family with eyes and ears in 5 cities. This was the Rothschild family's greatest weapon. June 18, 1815. Waterloo, Belgium. The battle that would decide the fate of Europe had begun. The clash between Napoleon Bonaparte and the Duke of Wellington. Investors across the world waited anxiously for the outcome. If Napoleon won, British government bonds would collapse. If he was defeated, they would surge. The morning of the 19th, Nathan Rothschild appeared in London's financial district. Around this day, a famous legend has been passed down through the ages. Nathan first sold British bonds, crashed the market, then bought them up at rock-bottom prices. However, as research by historian Niall Ferguson and others indicates, this level of detail is not substantiated by confirmed primary sources. The story of the short sell is noted to have been largely amplified and embellished by 19th century anti-Semitic pamphlets and later propaganda. What is certain is that the Rothschild intelligence network grasped the battle's outcome before others and acted boldly amid market chaos. Regardless, one thing alone is certain. The advantage of information is the advantage of wealth. Waterloo was merely the climax. From 1803 to 1815. Through 12 years of the Napoleonic Wars, the Rothschilds had embedded themselves at the core of wartime finance. Primarily, raising funds for the British side, remitting payments to allied nations, settling accounts for supplies. Nathan played the role of securing funds for the British government to continue fighting, managing the routes that delivered gold bullion to the continent. They embodied a single truth: war exhausts nations, but enriches those who manage its finance. After the Congress of Vienna in 1815, Europe began constructing a new order. Governments across the continent needed capital, infrastructure development, maintaining armies, suppressing revolutions, the Rothschild family became the ones who provided that capital. They underwrote Austrian bonds, financed Prussian war costs, and supported the French government's finances. 5 brothers in 5 cities wove Europe's finances together like a net. By the first half of the 19th century, the Rothschilds had become Europe's greatest bankers. Autumn 1875. Egypt's Kiev, deep in financial crisis, was urgently seeking to sell £4 million worth of Suez Canal shares. If France acquired these shares, it would mean France controlled the maritime route to India. For the British Empire, this was a matter of life and death. Prime Minister Disraeli could not wait for Parliament. The government had no immediate funds. At that moment, the Prime Minister made an urgent approach to the Rothschild family, requesting that they arrange the financing within a short time frame. Lionel de Rothschild took a sip of wine and answered, "What is the collateral, the credit of the British government, and above all, the personal trust between us and the Prime Minister? A loan made without parliamentary approval. It was a risk taken not on legal collateral, but on personal trust in Disraeli and political calculation. Very well." The following day, the Suez Canal came under British control. It did not end with underwriting government bonds. The 19th century was the age of the Industrial Revolution. Railways stretched across continents, mines were opened one after another, and the great canals of Suez and Panama were constructed. The Rothschild family invested in all of these. Diamond and gold mines in South Africa, a railway network spanning Europe, the maritime route connecting the Mediterranean to Asia. They had transformed from financiers into a force that moved industry itself. In the latter half of the 19th century, the Rothschild family's residences had become unofficial stages of diplomacy. Ministers, ambassadors, and the closest advisors to emperors from every nation. They gathered at Rothschild dinners to conduct informal negotiations. French finance ministers pleaded their funding difficulties. Prussian representatives negotiated loan terms, and British foreign secretaries sought information in secret. The Rothschilds answered. They always answered, because they had made themselves indispensable to everyone. Yet immense wealth and influence also attracted hatred. In the 19th century, antisemitism was intensifying across all of Europe. The Rothschilds control global finance. Jews are manipulating every government. In 19th century anti-Semitic propaganda, the Rothschild family's influence was depicted in exaggerated form as, quote, world domination. Their actual power was far from what that propaganda portrayed. When governments were refused loans, they sought other banks. The era and scope in which the Rothschilds could dominate was far more limited. Even so, the conspiracy theories spread. Human beings tend to attribute the complex problems of the world to a single cause. They tend to blame inexplicable inequality and grievance on an invisible enemy. The narrative of Jews controlling finance is a historically typical form of anti-Semitic propaganda. Even today, we must be deeply vigilant about the way such narratives can be exploited to justify discrimination and violence. The hatred directed at the Rothschild family was unjust. Yet it always accompanied great success. The 20th century was a time of trial for the Rothschild family. World War I, the Great Depression, and the rise of Nazi Germany. In 1938, Hitler annexed Austria. The Vienna branch had its assets confiscated and suffered devastating losses. French assets were also placed at risk. Part of the family moved to Britain, part moved to America. The banking empire that had covered all of Europe contracted. Yet the Rothschild family survived. Each time they survived, they learned one thing: invisibility is the greatest defense. Today, the Rothschild family endures. 280 years since its founding. Now operating globally as Rothschild & Company, centered on advisory services, asset management, and investment activities, with offices in London, Paris, and locations across the world. The days when underwriting wartime government bonds was their primary focus, as in the 19th century, are gone. Today's core is organized around M&A advisory, asset management and wealth management, and investment activities in the form of merchant banking. And in 2023, the Rothschild family made a decision. They withdrew from the stock market and returned to being a fully private company. To inherit with a long-term perspective, free from outside interference. It was also a return to the philosophy held since the family's founding. The lesson their ancestors once taught: never flaunt your wealth, guard your information. From the ghetto of Frankfurt to a financial dynasty connecting 5 cities across Europe. What a single family built over 280 years. Now, what can we learn from this story? The Rothschild family held 3 weapons throughout their history. The first, the advantage of information. They always possessed information that was earlier and more accurate than anyone else. Information generates wealth. In today's language, this truth has not changed. The second, trust as capital. What Mayer Amschel built as a coin dealer. It was not gold, it was the trust of the royal court. Trust is the capital that accumulates most slowly and is lost most swiftly. The third, adaptability. Each time the era changed, the Rothschild family changed their business model. From government bonds to industrial finance. From industrial finance to M&A advisory. And then the withdrawal from the stock market. Those who survive are not those who resist change, but those who anticipate it. Now, I want to put a question to you. History only speaks of outcomes, but those who lived it did not know the outcome. When Mayer Amschel was polishing coins in the alleys of the ghetto, did he dream of becoming Europe's greatest banker? The information, the trust, the network you hold right now. Perhaps without you even realizing it, they are already the key to the next door. What does the advantage of information mean in your daily life? And what is it that you must let go of today in order to build something worth inheriting over the long term? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. Here on Blueprint of Giants, we dig into the decisions and strategies of great historical figures and organizations, like the Rothschild family, to bring you the essential wisdom you can apply to your own life and business. If you want to keep exploring not the surface-level success stories, but the struggles and blueprints behind the decisions, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Until next time,